Next, Lewis, and just to show we're not biased, this is from The Observer.
This is from the Nigel Farage has announced he is boycotting the BBC over biased question time audience. I didn't see this thing that he was being interviewed by somebody on the BBC, but they kind of attacked him. They had people stand up and call him a racist and said the audience was biased. But everybody knows that. We all know that the BBC is part of a bigger global conspiracy, and by global I mean the Germans and the French, and being one Europe, and
we don't all know that, but
well, I know that. This is what I believe.
You know that the BBC is owned by the French and
I
the
don't
Germans.
think that they're owned. I think the ideology is part of a bigger thing, that they're taking our tax dollars to broadcast an agenda.
Okay, fine. Cresta, I'm not saying that there isn't an ideology at the BBC, and I'm not arguing that they don't promote it. I just don't know about all the other stuff that you said.
I'm very interested to see what happens next. I've got the popcorn out, because Farage is somebody he's known for picking fights with big organisations, big people, and doing quite well.
He's done excellent with the bank thing. Was amazing.
Exactly. Does he need the BBC more, or do they need him more? And
well, this is the thing.
They can't not have him on ever again.
No,
surely.
but he's not. But he's saying he's boycotted them. But he's already been on their biggest political show. It's only a couple of days to the election anyway. So is he going to generate more publicity by doing this than actually going on the BBC? It's the Laura.
He's going.
Show.
It's a smart move.
It is a smart move.
And the people who are watching this, people who like Lewis Schaefer and Crescent, I hope, and maybe even you, Josh.
I don't think the same people like him.
I don't think that they do, but maybe they do. But the fact is, they know there's something wrong with the BBC. Or maybe there's nothing wrong with
I agree with you. There is something wrong, certainly with BBC News.
Something wrong.
And I think it's also a good idea because he's going to be receiving a lot of hostile questions about these people who have been exposed. Now, I wanted to say, because it's covered in here, was that Nigel Farage himself said by essentially he sees himself as partly the destruction of the BNP is unfortunately that there are going to be certain people who used to be part of the BNP who are attracted to the Reform Party. He believes that he was successful in keeping them out. Obviously, that doesn't seem to be the case. That was the point I was making on the last story here. But having seen the question time, I mean, there was no... there's no question that there was bias there. But the bias comes from who they deliberately don't let ask questions as much as who they do allow to ask questions. That seemed like it to me.
Who is in the BBC's... I don't know what the right word is, pocket or mind, that would be on a show like that? Who do they call up and say, hey, you want to come in on a show? Like, who comes to our show? You know, when
we generate our own audiences, don't we?
And they're not going to be BBC-type people. They have their BBC-type people, which is fine. The BBC can do what they want to do, but just stop taking our money.
Well, stop taking money. Also, stop claiming impartiality. Right.